underway. Students and parents getting ready for a new school year. The new start times and guidance when it comes to COVID-19. Plus Fire Watch, the latest numbers on the massive oak fire burning near Yosemite. Also, the fog and drizzle on the coast and warmer temperatures inland. Our chief meteorologist is timing it out in your backyard forecast. And celebrating student leaders, how the local Boys and Girls Club is preparing the youth for the future. KION News Channel 46 starts right now.
Covering the Central Coast, this is KION News Channel 46 at 5 o'clock.
Everyone, the new school year starts next week in Monterey District. Teachers and staff members getting ready there for fresh faces in their classroom. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight for KION News at 5. School leaders now evaluating COVID-19 protocols. KION's Anna Torrea live for us at the Monterey District office tonight. Anna, will the district, I'm sure a lot of moms like myself wondering if they're going to be bringing back mask mandates.
Hey, good evening, Veronica. Here, the Monterey Peninsula Union School District will not be bringing back its mask mandates. Instead, it's just strongly recommended. Now, the district says that it is following both CDPH and Monterey County Public Health guidelines. The district has been going over its COVID protocols, like for quarantining and isolation. The district is giving out rapid tests also for families who need it. One student I spoke with says he's not too worried about it right now and is ready to start his senior year.
I'm hoping to see more parts of that, join more clubs, and since I didn't get a chance to do that much in that year, I'm really looking forward to it.
We really trust our health professionals. They're the ones who are trained in this. They're epidemiologists. They understand the risks, and so we'll continue to follow those guidance.
The district says it has a health coordinator that oversees its COVID response, which works with the professionals on health professionals on each of its campuses. MPUSD will also be having a virtual town hall meeting on Thursday evening to talk about the COVID-19 protocols. And it's not just the COVID protocols that they've been working on. Coming up at 6, I also talked to the school district about those new start time changes that will be beginning this year. Reporting live in Monterey, Anna Torrea, KION News Channel 46.
Summer break is gone. Thank you, Anna. Well, we also checked with the Salinas Union High School District for you. It was first an indoor mask mandate to being strongly recommended. It anticipates policy will remain in place, though, for the start of the new year. We also reached out to the Santa Cruz County Office of Education for you. They tell KION schools within their county will not require masks. On the Central Coast, we are seeing an uptick, a slight one here in COVID-19 related hospitalizations. In Monterey County tonight, we're seeing 42 people in the hospital sick with the virus. In Santa Cruz County, meanwhile, 23 reported cases. And in San Benito County, there is no increase at all. They remain at 0 tonight, and that's according to the state's dashboard. Federal health officials and vaccine manufacturers are now discussing efforts to kickstart the next generation of COVID-19 vaccines. At a summit today, experts pushed more accessible vaccines with little to no side effects and using delivery methods beyond needles like nasal sprays. Boosters targeting Omicron subvariants could be available to people this fall. Now to our fire watch tonight. Crews are close to reaching full containment on the Anzar fire. Tonight, it's 95% contained after burning about 100 acres in San Benito County. CAL FIRE says units are mopping up hot spots and removing hazard trees. 2 structures have been destroyed. The cause of the Anzar fire is under investigation. And tonight, crews are starting to get a handle on the Oak Fire. The flames have destroyed over 50 buildings and forced thousands of people out of their homes. Danya Backus tells us what authorities say how the fire could be potentially moving now into the park.
Nearly 3,000 firefighters working around the clock are making progress containing the Oak Fire near Yosemite National Park. A wave of humidity moved into the area overnight, allowing crews to work on hotspots and set up control lines. As of Tuesday morning, the fire scorched about 28 square miles and was 26% contained, but this fight is far from over.
There's brush that has been on the ground for years now that is just tinder dry. It takes one spark and instantly you have a fire.
Fire officials are confident confident they can keep the fire out of Yosemite National Park.
You know, at least one of the main roads into Yosemite is closed and inaccessible right now. But we don't believe that the fire is going to get into Yosemite.
At least 55 homes and other structures are damaged or destroyed. The Oak Fire is the third large wildfire in Mariposa County just this month.
If it's not you this time, it'll be next time. That the folks are really on, pins and needles.
Dry conditions are causing fire danger across the country. Near Dallas, Texas, fire officials believe a lawnmower sparked a wildfire that tore through this neighborhood Monday afternoon, burning at least 20 homes.
It jumped from this spot to that spot, just in a matter of seconds. And then everything went completely dark.
And in Alaska, crews have battled more than 530 wildfires. Washington State firefighter Eric Keene shot this video of the clear fire near Fairbanks earlier this month. That fire, still raging, has burned an area the size of Durham, North Carolina. Danya Backus, CBS News.
Amazing images. Fire authorities say they hope to have the Oak Fire contained by this weekend. Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency for the area. In St. Louis, record-breaking rain leaving streets filled with water. The flash flooding left cars stuck on the road, and people had to be rescued from their homes and their vehicles. The National Weather Service says in some areas up to 10 inches of rain fell from midnight until 6 in the morning. One man thought he could drive through that rising water.
So I'm thinking like, it's not a big deal. No, it is. Because my car stops. I see in front of me there's other cars stopped. My car wouldn't move. I was submerged.
Never a good idea. People in the St. Louis area are being asked to avoid travel. Forecasters say the rain wrapped up by late morning, but more storms are likely through the rest of the week there. What about here at home? Taking a first look at weather now. Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca. We haven't seen much rain, but drizzle.
We do see our typical morning drizzles. Had a little bit more this morning in Salinas. I want to talk about that monsoon moisture, though, across the country. Here's a look at the current setup. This ridge of high pressure really in the perfect spot right now because it can tap into two separate moisture areas. The Gulf monsoon threat, plus a look at your temperature trends coming up in a bit.
Sounds good, Dan. Thank you. In Greenfield, the man who was hit by a car while walking near Elm Avenue has now died. The driver is still on the run tonight. Police tell KION the victim is 21-year-old Oscar Lopez. They believe that 34-year-old Alfonso Benito Herrera was the driver of the car that hit Lopez on July 22nd and never stopped to help the victim. Police have issued a warrant for Herrera's arrest. The victim was in the hospital for 2 days before dying on Sunday. Well, in court today, Gustavo Morales appeared before a Monterey County judge this morning. He's accused of killing a Salinas police officer in February of this year. KION contacted his attorney, who declined to comment. Police say Morales opened fire on Officer David Alvarado Jr. while he was carrying out a traffic stop. Morales pled not guilty to all charges. He'll be back in court in August. Meanwhile, in the Flores trial today, after a juror could not make it, the trial was delayed once again. Judge Jennifer O'Keefe prefers to wait and resume before making the decision to bring in an alternate. In total, there are 12 jurors and 8 alternates, though, for the Paul Flores case. We're now told this case will resume on August 1st. In Nevada, more grim discoveries after another body has been found at Lake Mead. It's the third body found as water levels drop because of the drought. Here's a look at crews working on the scene. The National Park Service says someone called them after finding the remains in the park's swim beach area. The remains are right now with the medical examiner to figure out how the person died. The first body found in Lake Mead was back in May. Authorities believe it was likely a murder victim from the 70s or the 80s. The second found less than a week later. Well, tonight now a live look in Washington, D.C. We're still months away from the 2022 midterm elections, but 2 potential 2024 candidates gave dueling speeches today. Former President Donald Trump returned to D.C. for the first time since Inauguration Day. His former Vice President Mike Pence also spoke. Natalie Brand reports tonight from Capitol Hill.
In a possible preview of 2024, former President Donald Trump and his former vice president held dueling appearances in Washington, D.C.
When we win a triumphant victory in 2022 and win a Republican president takes back the White House in 2024, which I strongly believe will happen.
Mr. Trump focused on crime ahead of this year's midterms and the next presidential election in 2 years.
We need an all-out effort to defeat violent crime in America and strongly defeat it, and be tough and be nasty and be mean if we have to.
Former Vice President Mike Pence, when asked about the divide between the two former running mates, said they don't differ on issues, but on focus, expressing a desire to move past 2020.
I truly do believe that elections are about the future, and that it's absolutely essential at a time when so many Americans are hurting, so many families are struggling, that we don't give way to the temptation to look back.
Looking back, the January 6th Select Committee hearings have drawn a contrast between the actions of the former president and his vice president on that day. In a new book to be released later this year, Pence says the former president severed their relationship on January 6th. President Biden, in some of his most forceful remarks about the Capitol assault,
Donald Trump lacked the courage to act.
Took aim at Mr. Trump's message of law and order.
You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American.
And in a major development in the criminal investigation into January 6th, Mark Short, Pence's former chief of staff, confirmed he testified before a federal grand jury looking into the assault.
Well, Greg Jacob, Vice President Mike Pence, legal counsel, also testified before the federal grand jury as well. Well, a new survey shows more than 40% of parents won't get their children vaccinated against COVID. Coming up, the mixed reaction coming from both sides of this debate. Plus, we introduce you to two students on the Central Coast making a difference for children this summer in Seaside. And right now, taking a live look from our Mount Toro camera in Salinas. We'll have your full weather forecast when we come back. So stay with us right here on KION News at 5. All right, welcome back. Taking a full look at weather now. Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca. You know, on my way home, I'm
keeping an eye for you.
All right, keeping a close eye. Thank you, Dan. Well, tonight, children under the age of 5 are now eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine, but a new survey shows almost half of American parents say it's something they definitely will not do. In a poll from the Kaiser Family Foundation, 43% of parents with children within this age group say definitely not. Another 27% want to see and wait. How it works in other young children, clearly a mixed response from parents.
These days, it's really difficult to get, the information you would need to make such a decision.
Although I was hesitant as well, but I just felt in the long run that it would be safer for her to get the vaccine.
Well, most surveyed say they haven't discussed the vaccine with their healthcare providers. So far, the CDC says only 4% of eligible children under 5 have received at least one shot so far. Well, just kids themselves, a pair selected for a paid internship, are gaining more than just a paycheck this summer. They're having a memorable summer at the Boys and Girls Club in Seaside, and they're leaving a lasting impression on the younger students.
Yeah, so like just yesterday, there was a young kid named Elvis. He was having trouble with a problem.
Justin Wang is one of 2 student leaders at the Boys and Girls Club in Seaside. Children here can turn to him for help as they learn how to read this summer and how to work on math problems. And seeing a child's face light up, he says, after being able to solve a math question on their own is rewarding to Justin, who has earned one of 2 paid Bank of America internships.
To share the skills that I have developed over the course of my experiences. And I've also been doing this in the virtual clubhouse, in which I've been putting all the skills I have into on-demand content, such as blog posts.
For 8 weeks, Justin and Ashley Pacheco are getting hands-on experience serving their community and helping a younger generation.
So I was excited to apply and get that internship here at the Boys and Girls Club. Helping the kids made me realize a lot that I really wanted to focus on helping the children and helping families.
For Ashley, a student from Notre Dame High School in Salinas, this opportunity is further confirming her interest in helping children who lack sufficient food, she says.
There are kids who tell me stories about their needs and how they live, and how when they come here it's more like a safe place for them.
Staff at the Boys and Girls Club say children have really benefited from the involvement of their student leaders, who have really made a connection with the children this summer.
It's a really wonderful opportunity for them to come in and gain some real life experience.
Still adolescents themselves, Ashley and Justin have been mentors for the students, and Bank of America is putting money on them in becoming community leaders down the line. Well, both students have impressive resumes, and they're going to participate next in a virtual leadership summit where they're going to get to meet leaders from Stanford University to learn and discuss problems facing young people today. Good luck, guys. Well, from the Central Coast to the majors, coming up, we hear from San Diego-bound Nathan Martirella's proud parents. Welcome back. Well, Salinas native Nathan Martirella is officially a San Diego Padre tonight. The 21-year-old first baseman signed his contract today. KION talked to his proud parents. They say it's an exciting and emotional moment for the entire family.
It makes me want to cry, because knowing him, out of our 3 kids, he has always been baseball, loved football, was an outstanding football player, but I mean, at an early age, he'd lay out his uniform next to his bed from head to toe to cleats, and so it's very emotional and exciting for him.
With Nathan, he deserves it, like his mom said earlier. He put a lot aside in order to get this dream, make this dream come true. And we're real proud of him.
Can't imagine. Well, before playing college ball at Berkeley, Martirella played at Salinas High School. Stay with us. All right, finally tonight, lots of people talking about this one. Once upon a time in Carmel, Hollywood star Brad Pitt, now a homeowner in Carmel, the house D.L. James House, that is. It's located on the bluff in Carmel Highlands. It was built in 1918, previously owned by Chicago financier Joe Ritchie. The property was not publicly listed for sale here, Dan. I'm just like, do we?
Well, that's right next to
we
my
want to know who owned it, but look who owns it now.
That's right next to my house. Good gravy. A neighbor. Hi, neighbor.
All right. Well, it didn't look overcast probably in Carmel right now.
Oh, well, here's a live look from Carmel. Believe it or not, in the background, you can see a little sunshine filtering in. Around the bay tonight, mostly cloudy. Temperatures on the mild side, maybe a little on the cool side. Your sunset, 8:17 p.m.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
We'll be back at 6.